That's good to see everybody. I hope everybody, you're doing well, that you're having yourself a good day. As far as the snow is concerned, this Sunday after Christmas, obviously continue to deal with some very interesting weather. And of course, the further east you are in our viewing area, you're dealing with significantly heavier amounts than the western parts of our area, where it's generally been very light. We're seeing amounts either, next to nothing in the far western parts of our area to already 4 or 5 inches of snow in the eastern parts of our area. Places like Bucks County, 3-4 inches, again, even a little bit further south. And the rest of our viewing area, if most of the Lehigh Valley in that sort of inch or two right now. And we're watching because, boy, when you see this gradient, when you see this, how we're just right on the cusp of this storm and the heaviest snowfall, you'll really get a pretty good view here. I want to invite you to go to WFMZ.com, check out all of our traffic cameras, and while we're here talking about that, let's take a peek at some traffic cameras real quickly and be able to get a look here. You see I-78. Get some sense here. What we're going to try to do here is move from west to east. Now, you can see some snow on the roadways there, and there's I-78 at 183. And again, we're going to kind of move from west where we're not seeing the heavier snowfalls. That's at 61. And so you can see traffic is moving along. PennDOT has asked us to pass along to you if you can stay off the roadways to do so that they can get out there and get their materials on the roadways. Again, continuing to move from Berks through and into the Lehigh Valley. That's at 737 there. And again, you can see traffic is moving along. Keep in mind, temperatures mid-20s, and we're going down into the teens tonight. So anything that's wet out there that's untreated obviously will turn slick, and there's a point in which the salt is not effective. If we can, do we still have more off to the east there? I'll be able to show you. All that said, we're going to continue to deal clearly with some additional snowfall here through the evening hours. Now, the question is, how much more? What are we going to be dealing with? Let's get off and show you as far as what we've got. Again, send your totals, what you have at your house, and your photos, snow photos. This is not great snowmaking type snow. It's very light. It's very fluffy. It's good for shoveling, but the winter storm warning in effect for our area. Far New Jersey, coastal New Jersey, some blizzard warnings, as that's where they're really getting the heaviest amount. Most parts of our area start to snow overspread our area between noon and 2 o'clock. There's seeing these dark shades of blue. That's where the heaviest snow happens to be. Now, just over the last couple of images, we are seeing some of those darker shades make their way into parts of the Lehigh Valley. Far Berks and Schuylkill and back down towards Lancaster and Chester, just seeing that little dark shade of blue. But overall, it's been lighter snow here. You get back towards Harrisburg, you're talking about little to nothing. So we're just on the cusp. Again, there's no question the further eastern parts of our area you are, you're going to get heavier snows, and that's where we're talking about a foot or more. Once you get further inland, those amounts drop dramatically and drastically. We have the 6-inch line going through the Lehigh Valley, the 3-inch line just on the other side of Schuylkill and Berks, and so most of the Lehigh Valley kind of in between that 3 to 6-inch zone. And here's the thing, it all depends on those dark shades of blue, those bands, whether or not they can migrate in our direction. The storm itself is off the coast of Virginia and the Delmarva Peninsula out to sea, and it's going to continue to move north and east. Now, we're going to have to watch that in the exact track, which is why we're here giving you updates on the hour. 69 News starts at 10 o'clock. In between on the AccuWeather channel. We're going to continue that all night long through your day tomorrow. I think the heaviest snow is going to be done and tapering off sometime during the overnight into the very early morning hours. But the wind, 20 to 40 miles an hour, that's going to blow this light snow around. So that's going to continue to cause issues through and into the morning hours. More details, again, at the top of the hour, right leading up to 69 News starting at 10 o'clock. Be safe. Thanks for staying with us. I've been here giving you updates. I know, Mark was here all through the morning hours, well before the first flakes started to fall. And we've been tweaking and fine-tuning our forecasting maps, watching the Doppler radar, every single image that comes in, and analyzing it. We want to give you the very latest on that. First, let's get off some traffic cams, give you some sense here. And I know it's real hard to tell, but what's really important is to take a look at traffic. It is moving along, and keep in mind, temperatures, though, throughout the region are in the teens in the northern tier counties, lower 20s for almost everywhere else except Trenton's at 27, Philly's at 26, but everybody else in the low 20s. So untreated roadways, very slippery. And as you can see, we're moving from west to east, and obviously the further east you go, you are seeing more snow on the roadways. Even some of the highways have some snow on them. And of course, it's been generally a kind of a very fine, very light, very fluffy snow. There on 309 and Tillman Street, you can see the cars are moving along at a pretty good clip. Just use caution if you are heading out there. 78 Cedar Crest. Let's get back here to the maps and show you what we've got going on. It's real important to notice, again, temperatures are very, very chilly, but the winds are picking up, and that's going to be sort of our next element added into this storm is 20 to 40 mile-an-hour winds tonight during the overnight and during your day tomorrow. No matter how much snow you've gotten already and what we get here over the next couple of hours. And I got to tell you, looking at the radar, I think between now and midnight or 1 a.m., what we're going to get, for the most part, is what we're going to get. We got to pick it up here because this storm's not just sitting stagnant. I just did an analysis, and it's basically just kind of, if you go right off of maybe Rehoboth Beach, 100 miles off the coast, and that's important. If it was closer to the coast, we'd be seeing the heavier bands here on top of a good part of our viewing area. But because it's 100 miles out to sea, and we said, is it going to go out to sea or is it going to hug the coast? It's basically in between the two. As a result, New Jersey's getting slammed with significant snow, and the bulk of the Berks, Lehigh Valley area just seeing much lighter snowfall and precipitation. So obviously we've got wind chills in the single digits, so you want to limit your time outdoors. That's going to get worse here. Single digits will drop below zero as we go throughout the overnight hours. Still have the winter storm warning in effect. Take a look, though, over the past 6 hours, most parts of the area between noon and 2 o'clock, the snow moved into our area. And you can see there's no question all day long these dark blue bands have been moving off of the Atlantic, and that's where we're seeing most of the heaviest snow. Throughout the rest of our area, Schuylkill, Carbon, Monroe, parts of Northampton, Lehigh, Bucks and Montgomery have had some heavy bands back down towards Philadelphia, some heavier bands, but everything else has been generally pretty light. 1 to 3 inches here for a good part of our viewing area, whereas back into New Jersey seeing significantly higher amounts. And so we've made a couple of tweaks. Certainly that 12-plus inch line has stayed where it's at. The 6-inch line shifted closer to the Delaware River now, and so that 3 to 6 inch band through a good part of our the Lehigh Valley now, we were having that 6-inch line right through the Lehigh Valley, shifted it over to the Delaware. So the bulk of the Lehigh Valley area kind of in that 3 to 6 inch range. The 3-inch line now shifted that even further east, right through the Berks County area. So lesser amounts, significantly. In fact, you don't have to get too far on the other side of Berks County before you see little or nothing by way of accumulation. So all of that said, we're going to continue to keep a close eye. If you are on the eastern half of our viewing area, you got to use extreme caution. From Boston down to Philly, Boston, New York to Philly, that's a corridor of just real nasty weather. It's going to get worse here as we go throughout the overnight hours. Don't forget to tune into 69 News at 10 o'clock. Of course, we'll give you another couple of updates here leading up to that, and all night long on the AccuWeather channel as we continue to watch this storm. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good to see everybody. Thank you so much for staying with us. We've been giving you updates since 2 o'clock. Prior to that, of course, Mark was here giving you updates before the first flakes started to fly. And, of course, Amanda will be here throughout the overnight. Now, what's going to be happening here is we're transitioning between where we are right now and the wind. If you've been outside, wind chills, single digits, they will dip below zero tonight. And, of course, depending on where you happen to be in our viewing area, there's no question this ended up being a much less significant snow event, even though temperatures are in the 20s, low 20s at that. Northern tier counties in the teens, very slippery conditions, especially on untreated surfaces. Be aware of that. And while we're talking about that, let's quickly get off to traffic cams and take a look, weather cams, and see how roadways are looking right now. Boy, you certainly can see the shiny surface on there, and I would not assume that that's just wet. Please assume with these temperatures out there, you can see snow covered on 22. There you can see 22 Shanersville Road. It is obviously continuing to snow. And I think between now and I'd say midnight or 1 o'clock, we still are going to be dealing with some additional snow, but it's generally going to be light to moderate. These bands that have been off continuing over New Jersey. Let me give you an example here. You ready for this? Cape May, New Jersey, 18 inches of snow. Atlantic City, 15 inches of snow. As close as Sussex County, New Jersey, we got 13, 14 inches of snow. So, you know, the heavy snows were not far away from our area. It's just we were right on. Look at that I-78 at Morgan Hill. I mean, that is really, I mean, obviously you can see 78 is completely covered there with just one path that are available for cars. So very important that you note as you travel into the eastern parts of our viewing area, Boston to New York, and even down to Philly to a lesser degree. But even Philly, it hasn't been hit as hard as what the models had been indicating. It's just been a situation where we're right on the cusp. Let's get off now to the Cinema Live, and then we'll go to Galileo. Pull up the Cinema Live real quick. I want to be able to point this out to you, that these dark shades of blue have been coming right off the Atlantic Ocean all day long since it started between noon and 2 o'clock. And we've seen these darker shades of blue just coming off the Atlantic and hammering New Jersey. Then once you get to the Delaware River, everything turns light blue, and you get some of these medium or moderate shades of blue, but it's just not really accumulating type snow. And so for most parts of the area have picked up a couple of inches here and there, but it has not been a significant accumulating event. Very light, not great for making snowballs or snowmen. We're transitioning to the wind, going to be a big factor, going to blow everything around. But more importantly, is I think we could still see some additional accumulating snow, but we're running out of time. With this storm 100 miles off the coast, right off, I'd say, central New Jersey, you could be talking about somewhere in the ballpark of maybe another inch or so of snow between now and 1 or 2 in the morning. And then after that, just a bit of snow or flurries. New Jersey, you guys could still get another 2 to 4 inches because you've got those darker bands of blue there, again, up until maybe 1 or 2, and now even there I would say maybe till 3 or 4, but still got the winter storm warning in effect, and please use extreme caution. But we're sort of running out of time now with this storm. Got another couple of hours, I think up until midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, to get any accumulating snow, and then after that it's the blowing snow that's going to be a concern, and temperatures getting down into the teens, but feeling like below 0 in some cases as far as wind chill values. Please be careful. Untreated surfaces, very slippery. PennDOT has asked us to convey to you, if you can stay off the roadways, please do so, even if you haven't gotten a lot of snowfall there, because the roadways are very slippery. We'll see you in just a bit. Don't forget, tune in 69 News at 10 o'clock. Lots of information, what's happening in our area. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. We'll see you in a bit.